Alright guys, just saying here, back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out the LR Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegeto. Now, these guys are still pretty good. Don't get me wrong, they can look really good in some situations. You know, when you fuse with them, they have the damage reduction, they get a lot of defense on Super, and they got counters as well. So if you're getting lucky with crits, your damage can actually look like insane, because they're arguably the best counter unit, just because Dokkan really doesn't like counter units. But anyway, they're good in some situations, but majority of the time, you're not going to be fused with them because the condition for it is kind of difficult. I mean, it's possible to get, but it's not something you're going to see consistently. And in their base form, or in their pre-fused form, I should say, they're just kind of lacking, right? I mean, they got a solid passive, they got some dodge chance, which is nice, but I don't know, I just don't feel like it's enough. But anyway, before we get into the video, if you find yourself enjoying it at any point, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, keep in mind there are timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip around to any point, then absolutely feel free to do that. And yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so on this opening rotation, we are going to have 6 out of 7 links, so we're going to get Kamehameha and Legendary Power once we perform a Super, because they have Kamehameha, right? Yeah, they do. And we do also have some support from the Vegeto in slot 3, so just a very good rotation for him overall. And start of turn, we are at 246k defense. Alright, so that is a little low just for a start of turn defensive stat, but you do have to keep in mind we get 30% attack and defense on Super, and then we do also have a medium chance to dodge, as I mentioned. So, you know, that defensive stat definitely, it's not as bad as it seems, because start of turn, that's still going to get you killed in like any red zone event, right? Turn 1, just because, I mean, just not good enough start of turn, right? But then if you once you get the 30% on Super, he's going to be at what, like 350k-ish defense, and of course we could double Super from our hidden potential system, but unfortunately he doesn't have any built-in additionals. He just has a 30% chance to crit as well, which honestly I kind of wish that 30% chance to crit was either a 30% chance to get an additional, or they just got rid of it completely and gave him more dodge chance. Because if this guy had a 50% chance to dodge, this actually probably would be a very good unit even now to bring in any event, really, unless it cancels dodge, which I guess, you know, Red Zone Broly does still do that, so he wouldn't really be good in there. But if he had a 50% chance to dodge, I mean, as long as you're getting lucky with your coin flips, then he's going to take no damage whatsoever. And, you know, 50% is very reliable. But unfortunately, he does only have a 30% chance to dodge. And it's just not something you can count on, right? Like, you can't just throw him in slot 1 and say, oh, don't worry, he's going to dodge everything. He's got the medium chance to dodge. I mean, unless you build him, like, full dodge in, like, his hidden potential system, you're just not really going to be seeing it consistently, unless you're, like, really lucky. And you can't always count on that, right? But this guy is INT, so he does have the base 5 dodge. So, I mean, I guess you could give him, like, what, 30 dodge if you really wanted to. But I don't know. I don't really feel like that'd be that beneficial to this unit, because his super attacks are very important, right? And, you know, you want to give him some crit as well, because when you fuse, of course, he does have the counters, and, you know, counter units, you typically want to go full crit. But anyway, in this rotation, we don't have any support. So we are at 245k defense, so actually pretty much the same defensive stat we were at on the previous rotation. And we are going to have a lot of our links right here. We are going to have 5 out of 7, so everything except for Kamehameha and Super Saiyan, because this is a pretty good linking partner with them. Again, 5 out of 7 links. And once the STR Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegeto get their EZA, I mean, if they're a slot 1 unit, then this rotation could probably work. I mean, I don't know. These guys still just aren't good enough pre-fused. But once you fuse with them, as a slot 2 unit, they could work very well, because they get the 50% defense on Super. They've got the high amount of damage reduction for the first couple turns. So once you get all the defensive raises from your Super attacks off, and then combined with the damage reduction in slot 2, they could definitely be looking really good. But it's only a matter of if you're going to get the fusion off with them. And the condition is that you have to be below 50% HP starting from the 6th turn. So not really the easiest thing to get off. You know, you have to make sure you take a lot of damage. You have to be past turn 6, which is kind of difficult in and of itself right now, just because events typically don't really go past turn 6. So maybe you'll get this off like your final turn and you'll be able to kill the enemy, because, you know, he's got the counters and all that. So he'll definitely do a lot of damage, but I don't know. I just don't feel like it's going to be that common, you know, to really utilize this guy in his full potential. But still, I mean, he's been looking alright. Like I said, if you're newer to the game, if you want to bring this guy in an infinite history stage, or if you want to bring this guy in like a burst mode stage or anything like that, he definitely can be very good. His EZA is only like, what, a year and a half old at this point. So he's still very good. But I just feel like, again, his EZA could have been a bit better. So we can fuse with the STR Goku and Vegeta. I'm probably not going to do that, though, because I don't want him to kill. Okay, so yeah, we can put them in slot 1. We'll get all these INT orbs. We're going to get a full 24 key super. We've got some support from the Piccolo. So a very good rotation for him. As long as the STR Goku and Vegeta don't kill in slot 1, then we should be fine. But they do have built-in additionals, and they are STR, so they got some crit built in, of course, because they're hidden potential system. So I don't trust that they're not going to kill right here. Okay, no crit. Don't give me additional. Okay, perfect. No additional or crit. And we hit a 6 million attack stat on the dot. I mean, yeah, their damage, it's not really that crazy either before they transform. I mean, 6 million with a 30% chance to crit is alright, I guess, but that's really nothing crazy. I think the value of this unit is really going to show once you obviously get the fusion off with them. So let's go ahead and play this active skill with the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. We'll just showcase this off really quick because actually I don't really play it that much in my videos. So yeah, let's go ahead and play this. Alright, so I did also kind of want to fuse so we could hopefully kill on this rotation, because obviously Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta becomes a lot better, or he is a lot better than the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and he's going to have 7 out of 7 links right here. He has support. Man, this turned into the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta showcase. Look at that, 276k defense. I mean, yeah, dude, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is still crazy. For being over a year old now, because of course he released during the 7th year anniversary, he's still insane. His leader skill is still crazy too. I mean, we're running the INT Vegeta right now on the Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta's leader skill, and they kind of work on this team. I mean, they get the 200%, but honestly, I don't know. I feel like there's just better options, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but if I'm running Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's team, I'm really not even thinking about bringing the INT Vegeta. By INT Vegeta, I mean the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta that fuse into INT Vegeta. So, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like their value has just kind of dropped because they've aged a lot, right? I mean, I know that's kind of how it works, but, you know, because their fusion is difficult to get. They're not dodging enough, and I don't know, there's just a lot with them to where I feel like maybe a year from now, you're not even going to remember them. Like, you're going to completely forget they existed, and you'll never use them unless, you know, they work really good in an EZA event or, you know, burst mode or anything like that. But other than that, you're never going to go out of your way to bring them on the team if you're not already not doing that. But alright, on this rotation right here, we are going to nuke with them. I am kind of curious how high of an attack stat we can get to. We've got a lot of support on this rotation, and also we got a lot of links active, so we should be looking pretty good. And we got 14 key spheres. Alright, I can do a little bit better than that. Let's cut to a better rotation in terms of key spheres. Alright, so we are back, and we got a much better key field. We've got majority INT, so we're going to get 20 key spheres right here. Again, you know, we've got some support. We're going to pop the World Tournament Announcer item. We're going to have a lot of links active because we have him next to the STR Goku and Vegeta. So yeah, 5 out of 7 right there. His defense is 271k. So it looks like consistently he's going to be around like 250k defense, which just really is not good enough start of turn. And especially if, you know, you're missing dupes with him, obviously that'll just be a lot lower. But we are at a 14.6 million attack stat. I mean, obviously that is really good because now we got the 30% chance to crit, which we did not get right there, unfortunately. But, you know, keep in mind it was a nuking rotation, so of course his attack stat was bound to be pretty good because we got like 20 INT key spheres, and of course we popped the World Tournament Announcer item. But alright, I mean, that's pretty much it with the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. Not really much else to showcase because they don't really build up or anything. So I guess right now we could just cut to when we can fuse with them, which is going to be a little difficult. I'm going to have to make sure I purposely take some attacks, well, depending on how much we take from this. Or, wait, how much HP are we at? Because if we're below 50% HP, I could just wait, and then on the next rotation, we'll have it. But okay, no, it's alright. I'll just cut to when we can actually fuse with them. We'll see how good we're looking then. Alright, so now that we got the fusion off, we are actually going to be looking pretty impressive. We got the full heal, of course, which is very useful. That can pretty much turn a fight around for you. So definitely very good there. And right here, we are going to have 4 out of 7 links. We've got a lot of support. from the Vegeta in slot 3 and from the Piccolo. And start of turn, we are at, all right, 315k defense, so actually not the worst. We're going to be approaching 500k defense after we get our 18 key super, because that does give us a 50% defensive raise. And also we have 30% damage reduction for 3 turns. So our defensive stat is actually going to be looking pretty good. We're going to have some damage reduction, of course, like I said, the 30%, with almost 500k defense. So pretty solid there. I mean, that's pretty much double digits from most enemies' normals, right? I mean, maybe outside of like Metal Cooler Core, that's pretty much double digits from normals. But in terms of super attacks, that's still just not nearly high enough. I mean, he's going to get completely one-shotted. Maybe if he has type advantage, he'd be able to survive. But anyway, right there, 5.3 million attack stat. That's not really the highest attack stat, actually. It's not really that good. But considering he's got, obviously, all the crits incoming, or all the counters, excuse me, that is pretty good. I mean, look at that. Almost a million attack stat from a counter. Now, can we get some crits off? We can. So, basically, 2 million damage on a crit counter. So, yeah, that is pretty impressive. I mean, again, once you start critting with these counters, the damage does really start to get crazy. And he'll start to look really impressive. But unfortunately, you do have to give him some crits for that because he doesn't have any built-in crit once you fuse. So it is kind of weird with that. But, I mean, as long as you give him like 15 crit, you'll see it somewhat consistently. So, alright, with all that shown, we can go ahead and cut to the Cell Max test and see how well he's performing in there. Alright, so we're here fighting Cell Max, and we got a pretty good setup. We are going to take a super and then a normal. So as long as we survive the super, we'll be able to see how much he takes from normals as well. But I don't know. I mean, it is after we get our super attack off, so we're going to get the 30% defense. So we might be able to survive the super, but again, I don't know. I think we might have to rely on the dodge, which, as we already said, is kind of unreliable. So I'm going to have to pop the Super Saiyan 4's active skill to get Gogeta, because in slot 1, I don't really know how well they're going to perform. The Gogeta does have some damage reduction because we picked up some Rainbow Key Spheres, but he still might die, so this is kind of a gamble. But, I mean, hopefully this works out. We'll be able to see how well the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta are tanking the super, obviously after they get their super. So this should work out pretty well. We almost died right there, but after we get this super attack off, this is going to massively raise our defense. Obviously, any additionals do just skyrocket his defense as well. So I think we're fine. Okay, 100k. Yeah, I mean, we survived, but just barely. So how much is this going to do? I mean, it's safe to say we're going to die if we take a super. But if this does anything under 500k, then in the right situations, you could survive a super from Cell Max. 714k. All right, that was not under 500k. So this guy is just barely going to one-shot them. We'll still hop back in to see how well they're tanking Cell Max's normals. But I do want to keep that in the video because a little over 700k is definitely a lot of damage. Alright, so we're back in the Cell Max event, and we do have a pretty good rotation. We are going to have 5 out of 7 links right here. And then, of course, the support from the Piccolo as well. So just a pretty good rotation for him overall. The Piccolo should be able to hold down slot 1. Keyword should be able to. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get an 18 key super with them. But that's not really the biggest deal because they still just get the 30% defense on both 12 and 18 key super. That's a lot of damage. But after we super, I think we should be fine. But to be fair to Piccolo, he does not have any damage reduction because there's no Movie Heroes category allies on the turn. But okay, we double supered. So I think we should be fine as long as we don't take a super attack. But yeah, that is one thing I do want to mention about them, the Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, is Ki. Ki is a very big issue with them. You're not really going to consistently get an 18 key super attack off with them unless you have a lot of links active. And I don't know, I feel like it can just be kind of difficult to, again, get their 18 key. But alright, we dodged an attack. So that's definitely very useful, but we took 80k from the other one. Yeah, I mean, alright, so it looks like they're not quite going to be taking double digits when you're fighting Cell Max when they're pre-fused. But once they fuse, I can only imagine they'd perform very well in here. I'm going to be honest with you, though. Getting the fusion off in the Cell Max event is going to be very, very difficult because you're typically finishing the fight by turn, like, 5. Let alone, you know, fusing with them on turn 6 is just... It's going to be very difficult, so I'm going to call it at that. That was still a good showcase from them. They did dodge an attack or two, so I mean, I guess that's pretty useful. But, you know, defensively, they've just aged out, right? Alright, here we have Fused Superpower, Super Saiyan Goku, and Super Saiyan Vegeta. So starting off their leader skill, it is Patara category Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 180%, or INT type Ki plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 120%. Pretty solid leader skill. This is good for stuff like Ultimate Clash. and I'm pretty sure they are the best Potara lead, so definitely very good there. And then their super attack effect on their 12 key is that they raise attack and defense for 1 turn, does colossal damage, and then their 18 key is the exact same, except they do mega colossal damage. So pretty solid super attack effect, you know, some attack and defense definitely is nice. And then their passive is that they get attack and defense plus 180%, they get a medium chance to crit, a medium chance to evade enemies' attack, including super, and then they get 2 key in addition to per rainbow key sphere obtained, so every rainbow key sphere you get, they're going to get some extra key, which you think this would be good and fix their key issue, but it really doesn't, unless you have like a rainbow orb changer on rotation. But other than that, still, they're just going to be struggling for key, and then obviously they fuse when conditions are met. And the condition is that you need to be below 50% HP starting from the 6th turn. Really not the greatest condition right there, but at least when they do fuse, they do get noticeably better. And then their links are Kamehameha, Super Saiyan, the Saiyan Lineage, Experienced Fighters, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. And then their categories are Majin Buu Saga, Potara, Joined Forces, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Final Trump Card, Pure Saiyans, Battle of Wits, Accelerated Battle, Fuse Fighter, and Bonded Parent-Child. So definitely a lot of categories, pretty good there. And then when they fuse, their 12 key stays exactly the same. Within their 18 key, they get 50% defense now. They do mega colossal damage and then raise allies' attack by 30% for 1 turn. I don't think I mentioned that, but that definitely is very good. Just benefits the rotation, so pretty solid there. And then their passive is that they fully recover HP once only. They get attack and defense plus 200%. They counter normals with tremendous power. And then they reduce damage received by 30% for 3 turns from start of turn. And then that drops down to 15%. And then they get 3 key now per rainbow key sphere obtained instead of 2. So pretty solid there. And then their links change. They now have Power Bestowed by God and Fuse Fighter instead of Experienced Fighters and, well, I guess the Saiyan Lineage, right? Yeah, it's Saiyan Lineage. So, alright, that's pretty much the unit. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this guy. He's pretty solid. I feel like he's just aged really quickly, but again, in the right situations, he can look pretty good. So yeah, again, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.